Good morning, friends. Welcome to the show, Unliked and Unbothered. I am your host, Justin. J Raw, stay raw. Today, we're going to try and create a little bit of comedy here, but it's just me on the set today, so here I am riding solo. It is early in the morning. Today is 7:27 at 7:17 in the morning, so here I am getting my ass up. I think today's show is just going to be a little bit about consistency and putting one foot in front of the other and making sure that you're disciplined, ultimately just to take baby steps in this world, because things don't get done if you try to be amazing all at once. All right, so the first part of this is, why consistency beats perfection every time. The myth of perfection is, ultimately something that I feel like steps in our way as an obstacle in this world. One of the biggest problems I have working with others is their ability or willingness to get up early and put the work in right away. I feel like it's everybody around me. I feel like if you're up early doing things before people, it just takes another step in front of the other. I mean, in the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, I believe Will Smith was just looking at every angle of how to make more time for his day to make sure that he was ahead of the game. It's kind of how I think on a daily basis. I think that you all out there should do the same thing. Perfection to me is just a tendency of, setting excessively high standards for yourself. By critical self-evaluations and concerns about your perceptions. But ultimately, I feel like perfectionists and perfection is unobtainable. I used to actually make music a long time ago. We were doing shows, live shows here and there. We'd make some merchandise. We'd run a merchandise table. Everything seemed right, but there was always just a piece of, man, the song's just not ready. The song's not done. We need to do more here. And then in the midst of doing all that, you find yourself finding leisure moments in between all of the, I can't do this because of this or whatnot. Just to be real, it's not something I like to talk about, but because I'm here solo, I want to put it out there. So one of the things that I've struggled with is biting my fingernails over the years, and it's kind of a nervous tendency when I'm worried about being perfect. I've gone so far as to become accustomed to not having any fingernails anymore. As you can see them on here, I can't pick up a dime off the ground or anything like that. I mean, it takes me a minute, but I've accepted that less perfect form because of understanding perfection and how it can stay in the way. I mean, I've just become okay with that piece. In my mind, I was just as a kid in high school, I was just like, dude, I can't kick this habit no matter how much I tried. I know that there's a way for me to kind of have support around me to kind of help me do it, but with biting fingernails, it's not something that people are going to be passionately helping you with. So it's not, and that's most things in this world, but they don't see your struggles from the outside, and this is something that I deal with on the regular basis, which, again, I look back at and say, well, this ain't so bad. So thank you, God, for creating what life you've created for me, or giving me the free will to do what I can in my life too. The power of consistency is very, very important. It is always better than ambition or drive, because if you're in a rhythm of waking up early and doing something early and doing it before other people, your life is going to exponentially build or grow faster than all the other people that aren't getting up as early as you are. So that's consistency to me is staying disciplined to put one foot in front of the other, like this podcast, and being on the show every week, which I'm here. I don't know, I think this is 5 weeks in a row. Just staying disciplined, trying to get in here and make sure that you guys have some kind of material to look at, listen to, whatever it may be. But some common excuses like I don't have time, I'm not ready, or I'm not good enough, they keep us stagnant from progressing in our own lives. And it's definitely something you've got to identify that you're making in regards to the excuses that you're making in the world. You have to identify it and just get by it. One of my favorite quotes is by Kobe Bryant, and I preached this last night. I was at a wedding last night, and I preached this to the groom. I said, I don't like when people say we got a lot of time. I was like, sure, you got your ring today and you are assuming that your life will be long and happy and prosperous with your new wife, but I think the biggest mistake we all make is thinking that we have more time than we do. And that's the Kobe Bryant quote that I was thinking in my head. It's like, we can't guarantee tomorrow, we can't guarantee the rest of today, so live like it's your last hour, live like it's the last day, because again, we just can't guarantee tomorrow. And losing people over time really has taught me that. You can't wait around for that right moment. You can't wait around for things to feel comfortable. You just have to do it. You got to put one foot in front of the other and just move forward. Baby steps. One of the most powerful lessons I've learned over the last 2 decades of my life is you don't have to be amazing every single day. You just have to show up. I have a 80% 10-10 rule. So it's 80-10-10. And 80% of the time, if you just show up, you're going to be successful. Obviously, 10% of the time, you got to try to do the job that you're supposed to do or whatever that showing up entails. And the other 10%, you got to do it right. And if you do all those things, if you do those 3 things, you'll be successful. But ultimately, showing up is 80% of it all. Literally, show up, hungover, whatever it is, make them send you home. Make them make you go home. Now, obviously, I'm not encouraging people to go to work drunk or hungover, but you get up. You don't play hard and not work hard. Understood? That's how I feel. Success to me is the ability to move from one failure to the next with enthusiasm and to understand that failure is only a true failure if you fail to learn the lesson that the failure brought. So again, I'm just going to say that again. Success is the ability to move from one failure to the next with enthusiasm. Excuse me. And try it again. Success is the ability to move from one failure to the next with enthusiasm, and to understand that the failure is only a true failure if you fail to learn the lesson that that failure brought to you. All right, moving on. How to build some of this consistency? Well, you want to start with a low bar. You want to make sure that you're setting bars that are obtainable, but also project goals that are still pushing you to do better. Meaning, let's say a company makes $1 million this year. They're going to want to make 1.1 next year at least, right? Now, obviously, in your offices, if you're making money like that, and you have a big workforce, I think that those people that believe in you and your vision in that business, they may push you to get higher. I know that I am a sales guy in my second job, and I push my boss all the time. I like, hey, we can make this. We can make this happen. And he just reminds me sometimes, like, hey, you gotta be real with it. But it's good that you want to push and continue to push. And maybe, if you end up pushing enough, you end up getting over that point of projected sales. And then, it's kind of like the next year you got to project more. So either way, keep pushing yourself and keep raising that low bar that you try to start with just to make that happen. Once you get all these goals under your belt, it'll lead to more confidence, and you'll, obviously feel the power from that consistency and showing up. When you set low bars, the best thing you could do is schedule that low bar, whatever that appointment is. Make it a visual tracking system like Google or like some Android or any kind of Apple calendars. Just make sure that when you do that, you stay on track. And if you do have to have a day off, just forgive yourself for those and move forward. I mean, there's nothing you can do about past things that happen, so you have to just move on, live with the past, and repair from there. One of the things that I tend to, do if something in my life happens that may be tragic or something that is, making me angry, pissing me off, whatever, even though I'm unbothered by most things, you just kind of put it on your visual timeline. You think about a mental timeline and how a timeline only moves in one direction. Well, that's kind of like how I do it. I look at the event in my timeline, in my head, and I say, well, I'm going this way. So the only thing I can do is leave it there on my timeline and never look back. So focus on your identity, and focus, and not so much the outcome. Obviously, the outcome is what you want to be, that perfect product, but just put it out there. Just start one foot in front of the other. You really just got to start walking. Baby steps is where it happens. Hence the reason I'm here solo without a team. If you wanted to become a writer, you start by writing. You take 10 minutes a day, you start writing. If you want to be a contractor, you start by building. You build the chest today, and you swing a hammer. And shit, you look up tutorials on YouTube. Some of them are good. In this world, there's just so much information out there that you should at least be able to pull something up and mimic it and get where you need to be. I feel like being a homeowner of a couple different homes, I feel like what you should do is try everything, and then if you mess it up, call the experts. I guess make sure you got the money to be able to call the experts before you start that project, but ultimately, try it yourself. Trades are a lost art. Yeah, start today. Set the bar low. Just start knocking down things that you're supposed to do. Consistency might be boring, but it's where the real magic happens. So today, don't try to be perfect. Just try to show up, all right? That's how progress works. Just keep moving. The world turns, we're going to have to turn with it, okay? If this episode resonates with you, share it with a friend, tag me in a post. Whatever you're committing to consistently do this week, throw some kind of comment in the chat. If you feel like sharing past experiences, please leave something there in the comments section, as well as any topics you might want us to cover on the show. I wish I had more of a funny show today, because I'm really trying to bring some comedic nature to whatever we provide. But regardless of what you think, me, the host, Justin, J Raw, Stay Raw, of Unliked and Unbothered, I don't give a shit. I guess it's time to sign off. I don't want to keep you guys any longer. I got to start my day. I will be trying to do these shows a little bit earlier in the morning so I can get them edited and posted by Tuesdays. Yeah, I don't know. We do also have an email that you can send some information to. You can always reach out to us at unlikedandunbothered@gmail.com. We obviously haven't figured out we haven't figured out the hosting of the domain for our emails to be at unlikedandunbothered.com. But again, one foot in front of the other. Here I am trying. You should try too. I thought this was America. I'm sorry.